This is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth, and today to do another tarot reading and charm reading for you guys. I'm going to start off with the charms today. I've already laid them out, as you can see. Just want to check my audio before I begin, though. Just a second. Awesome. Okay, my audio looks good. So yeah, I laid out some charms here for everyone, and I'm going to be reading these charms, and then I may pull some tarot cards. It's going to be a shorter reading today because my cell phone doesn't have a lot of battery power to it, and I need to head to the library in a little bit, so it's going to be a little bit shorter. But before I jump, I just want to remind everybody my prices are going to be going up significantly starting August 1st. So for those of you who want to book a private reading, this is the time to do it. You'll need to send a payment through PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. It's at Oracle Daphne for Venmo. It's the $ Oracle Daphne for Cash App. And the link to PayPal is on the website, oracledaphne.com. So my availability is also going to be changing significantly for those of you who did not watch my last video. Basically, I'm taking readings until the 29th of July. And after that, I will be only available weekends for about a month. And then I'll have a wait list starting September 1st that will go through April of 2024. So basically the next 9 days, I'm going to be available for private readings. Significantly, my availability is going to be more. And then after that, not as much. So just reminding everybody, now is the time to book. I'd love to get you scheduled. And even if, let's just say you wanted to try to book sometime later in August or September, you would need to in the better price. You would need to send a payment now, and you can book it for later. But it would be after August 1st. It will be just the weekend availability. So like I said, anytime within the next 9 days, I'm trying to book as many people as possible, just because of my schedule is changing so significantly. So yeah, to jump in, thanks so much for watching all of my videos. I am highly recommending, if you're new or if you don't get notified that I'm posting, to check back on my channel, because I continue to post, and I still plan to continue to post on my channel. And as well as on my new channel, The Whale Called Moon. I have been intending to post on there, but I can't really do a tea reading when it's so hot. It's like 100 degrees today. So I'm going to be doing more on there. And I am posting regularly on Instagram as well. So if you want to follow me over there, I'm doing that over there. Okay, so I just did actually a charm reading over on Instagram, and I noticed that the energy was way different than this energy here. And this energy today feels a little bit challenging in the sense that it actually feels kind of like a desert. It feels very dry. It feels very hot. Now, some of you may be living it's a very hot day today, and I'm recording this. So you may be living in a very hot climate, or it might be very hot summertime where you live. Unusually hot too, or just live in a very warm place. You might be on vacation and you might be watching this. You might be on the beach somewhere. I don't know. It just feels kind of like a desert type energy, or just like it's very hot and dry. And I feel like this energy is quite challenging. The reason I say that is because we have this Phoenix ring charm. And, I got this at a time when, I have to tell you, when it was, again, very much, I was very deep into thinking that things were not going to change. Things that I wanted to change, things weren't going to change, and it felt very much like I was going through the fire of transformation of life, and some of you may be going through kind of a transformative time where it's very painful. To me, it's a very painful kind of energy. Growth can be painful. Rising from the ashes can be painful. It was really weird yesterday. Like, I looked in the mirror and I was like, I don't look the same. Like, my face doesn't look the same. And I went out and I was like, to get some tea. And I was like, I talked to the girl. I was like, does my face look different? Like, my face looks different. I was like, I don't know what it is. And, I don't know if it's my diet. I'm trying to make better, diet choices and things like that. But it's just like my face looks so different that I didn't even recognize myself, So, like, again, that's part of the transformative energy of where it's like you might have lost weight, or you might have gained weight, or you might be transforming your life in some way, or you might be going through a period of time that you can't really see yourself right now. Later, you're going to look back and be like, I look different. I changed. And it's really, really interesting because if I look back at my older videos, like from when I started, 10 years ago, I do look different. I look very different. In fact, like, I don't even recognize the girl that was recording back then. It's just really interesting. So some of you might be noticing some physical changes that you're having to your body, or physical changes that you're having to your appearance in some way. Could be your hair, could be your skin, could be just like the way you appear to other people. I don't know. There's just something about the way you look is different, or is going through some changes. Some of you may be doing some wardrobe changes. Some of you may be going through like the trans journey. I feel like that's low, like small percentage though of people that are watching. I feel like for the majority of the people that are watching, like there's some kind of transformation that, or this could just be a painful time. And when I say painful time, hard time, where you don't know, like maybe you want things to change, or you need things to change, but things aren't changing, where you don't know the outcome, where things are not set, where you're having to do things that you probably would rather not do, forcing yourself to do stuff, making things happen. To me, that's all fire. That's all transformation. So some of you are experiencing that, regardless of whether it's actually literally hot where you live. To me, it's that fire energy of, it's like feeling the burn of something that's happening in your life. Maybe some of you are feeling the burn of inflation. Some of you may be feeling the burn of divorce or breakup, or something that's made you feel just like things are challenging or things are hard, feeling some burn somehow for maybe people in your life too. It was really interesting over Instagram. I was talking about people in my life and friends, and you might be, your friendships might be transforming as well. Like who you hang out with, where you go, what you do, all the things in your life are transforming in some way. To me, it's sort of like a rough patch, because every time this crystal comes out, it has this rough kind of edge. It's hard to see, but it has this like rough kind of energy. So to me, it's kind of like a rough patch. We also have the charm about being a light for others, and to me, being a light is not easy. Being a light means it has a little bit of sacrificial energy or element to it, where you have to be, in order to be a light, you have to be willing to be there for somebody else when they need you. Not when it's convenient for you, not when it's the best time for you, but when they need you. Being a light, showing up and giving somebody a hug because they're suicidal that day, or they're not feeling their best, let's just say, or they're having a hard time. Being the light is sending somebody, a kind text, or maybe a gift card through the mail, or doing something for somebody else when it's not necessarily like on your agenda. It's not something that you're like, okay, I really, have to do, but I want to do this because this is what somebody else needs me to do. Being a light for somebody else too means you don't get what you want when you want it, especially in relationships. Relationship and telling them something that they needed to hear at that specific time, or helping them learn or helping them grow at a specific time in their life when they needed to hear that, or you needed to be there, whether it was their shoulder to cry on, or whether it was teaching them something that was going to help them in their journey. The hardest relationships I've had are with people where I've been a light for them, or they have been a light for me. And I have had a few that have been a light for me. And the ones that have been the light for me have been the hardest. Being a light does not mean, happily ever after. It means, in some way, like I said, sacrifice. It means like you're in a short-term relationship when you want a long-term relationship. It means you don't get the house because you gotta be in an apartment complex so that you meet certain people, so that you tell them certain things, so that you show their kids something. And you know what I mean? It's just like, that's what being a light is. It has nothing to do with whether you do tarot, or whether you're psychic, or whether you're in this spiritual community at all. So that's something very fascinating. It's something that some people might not know. There it fell. It's interesting. We had that marble, and I was just talking about kids. I want to grab it. Just a second. I'm going to put the phone down for just a second. I want to grab it. I'm back. Okay, so the marble is a marble that came out of the children's garden in the downtown community garden where I used to garden. We had to transplant all the dirt out of there. And when we went to go transplant it out of there, because the property was sold, like all these marbles popped up. And I was like, oh my God, what is this? And to me, the marble represents hope on a day and at a time when things are looking grim. It's sort of like like the November blues, when, things start to get cold and you're like, headed into winter, and you're like, there's not much to look forward to, and things are looking grim, and you find something unexpected, or something happens which brightens your day. And it's small. It's not like about how much money it is, and it's not about reaching your goals. It literally is just something that cheers you up. So it's very important at this time to I don't know, like if there's kids that are near you, to spend time with kids. This could be your kids. You could be spending time with them. But to me, there's something endearing about this marble and this dragonfly here. It's funny because the dragonfly, I actually did. You can look back in my feed, see a dragonfly in my garden, in the same garden that I found the marble. And that dragonfly, I had a really rough interview that day, and that dragonfly popped up. And you can see I'm holding the dragonfly in the picture that I took. This is again back in my feed, so you can look back to see I was actually holding this dragonfly. And it was just like I was having just a rough day, and things were not going well. And there's this dragonfly that popped up, marble that popped up. So like, again, it's very interesting energy. You might be having it kind of rough, where it's like, going through a very painful time or hard time. And, these kinds of times can happen for a variety of reasons. They do not tell you that as an adult, these kinds of things will happen more often than not. And things will be very disappointing. And you kind of have to roll with that energy, because in some way you have to, as an adult, you have to work harder. You have to become more self-sufficient, more responsible. You have to accept things with, a smile on your face. And it's just more challenging. So I feel like this challenging energy does have, it's kind of like looking at a movie or looking at a picture that's like kind of got a bunch of darker clouds and then the light coming through, and we have this light with this dragonfly and this marble. So to me, it's kind of got, it's not without its share of highlights, is what I want to say. To me, this is like a reading that has some really beautiful highlights, and beautiful energy that, although for some of you, this energy is not what you want, and this is not what you want to hear, and this is not where you want things to go. But I actually believe that, it's sort of like you have to look, it's like all depends on your perspective. You can look at it as if it's like all crap, or you can look at it as if it's a mixed bag. It's very hard for some people to look at it that way. Whether it's not all clouds, but it's not all sunshine. It's not just a rainy day, but it's not a life at the beach, So, and to me, the dragonfly is like a need to start out fresh, or a need to do things in your life that are new. Spending time outside, doing things like in nature, doing things where you are not so focused on whatever is burning you right now. I feel like some of you, like you might be carrying quite a lot of burdens, whatever that is. And I feel like I picked up this energy before. I feel like some of you, your burdens are quite heavy, or your plate is quite full. But it's not without its share of moments. To me, there's these positive moments. It's fascinating. We also have this, it's like wax that I use for letters, and you can see it's got like both ends have been burned. So some of you are staying up late and getting up early, so maybe you're a little bit off balance. The energy has felt to me a little bit off balance lately, and it's harder to get back into balance when things get out of balance. So it's like yesterday, or it's like the day before, someone set off firecrackers at like 2:00 in the morning in my complex. And I was like, really? Did that have to happen? It's like 100 degrees. We don't really need that on top of that. So it's hard to get back into balance when things like that happen, or like maybe when, you've got a string of situations, or, a string of nights where you're staying up late and you're getting up early, or you're trying to like kind of rebound or recover from a couple of late nights. I feel like that energy is showing up here as well. Some of you are maybe drinking alcohol, or you're I want to say partying as well. Not everybody, but for some of you, you're partying. Some of you have like, don't drink, like not at all. So like, but you still might have some kind of disruptive sleep schedule or sleep patterns, which you really need to work on, because it's throwing the reading. Like when you're not getting your sleep, it disrupts the balance of life and how you process everything in your life, whether you have an easy life or whether you're going through a tough time. And everything appears to be harder when you're not rested, or can appear to be harder when you're not rested or you're not getting your sleep. So like for me, like this was like when I first moved back to Ellensburg, I slept on the floor for 2.5 months. And my life at that time I did not see things the way I normally would see them because I was sleeping on the floor. And so the things were harder, and I was less happy, and there was just like, a lot more stress. So, the way we process stress and the way we deal with things all is affected, by our sleep. So make sure you are getting your sleep. We have this N here, which usually is a no. And I see it, though, my guides are saying it's like not necessarily getting what you want. And it reminds me, there was this person who contacted me a long time ago. And it was like, basically, everything I said was no. Everything she had wanted was a no. No to this, no to that. No, that's not how it's going to go. No, this is not how it's going to be. No, no, no. And it was really challenging, actually, at the time. But it taught me something, because I could see how frustrating that is when somebody's saying, no, you're not going to get what you want. No, you're going to have to change. No, you're going to have to transform your life. Or no, you're going to have to do different or make changes in order to see different things. It's very interesting. I think over time, because I've read for a variety of different people, I've seen a lot of people do this thing where they watch me repetitively, hoping that I'm going to tell them something different. That essentially, even if they don't do different, that I'm going to tell them something different, regardless of what they're doing. So there's like this disconnect between their life and whatever they think and their future. It's like a disconnect. They do not see how their life, their choices, their relationships, their sleep schedules, their diet is all connected to their future. And I've talked about this before, but I feel like I'm going to mention this again, because some people are disconnected from their future. They do not see how they are affecting their future, how their choices are affecting their future. Like, yeah, a lot of random stuff could happen. Yeah, an ice cream truck could come by today and with popsicles. That would be awesome. And maybe a psychic could tell you, yeah, the ice cream truck is going to come by with those popsicles. It's going to be great. But as far as the personal stuff, whether you're going to be with somebody or not, or whether you're going to pass a class or not, or whether you're going to get married or not, get engaged or not, these are all things that you're very much connected to. And a psychic can potentially see those things, but let's just say the answer was no. No, you're not going to get engaged. No, you're not going to get married. No, you're not going to get into a relationship. No, you are not going to marry that married man. No, you're not going to be with that person who already has a girlfriend. No, you're not going to, whatever it is, fly a biplane without a license. It's just not going to happen. What if somebody was to tell you no on all those things? If somebody told you no, you might get really irritated and really frustrated. But you are very much connected. The no is just telling you how connected to your future you are. So the no would be a yes if you got a license to fly that biplane and you worked at it. The no would be a yes as far as getting engaged to someone who actually loved you and someone who actually was treating you right. The no would be a yes if you weren't involved with a married man, or if you weren't involved or thinking about a person who already had a girlfriend. The no would be a yes if you were getting married to somebody or planning to get married to somebody who you had already met and were deeply in love with and who had already asked you to get married. Most people do not understand that connection to those things. And the no is going to be a yes if you're wanting a relationship that The no is going to be a yes if you're wanting a relationship and you're out there. The no is going to remain a no if you're not out there. If you're not involving yourself with people that have integrity. And it is challenging, I have to say. It is very challenging. I just said over Instagram today, integrity is an issue. It's a collective issue. Integrity in a relationship is an issue. People see marriage as non-commitment after they get married and then start cheating. People see dating as a way to get a piece of ASS. People see, what's it called? Engagements as like a status symbol, as a way to gain followers and friends, and to do whatever within family structure, within religion, which follows certain rules and certain cultural norms and patterns. It's essentially the lack of integrity that people have when it comes to relationships is huge. And so the no is going to be a yes when there's integrity, number one. Number two, when there is a real sense of, what you want to say, genuine authenticity and truth to the people that you're involved with. And lastly, relationships are not forever. So the more we build it up, the more we say, okay, we're going to build it up, and we want the perfect person, and they've got to have everything, and they've got to da-da-da. The farther we become disconnected from it, and they are more out of reach, and they more become the carrot in which we cannot see because we are so disconnected. So to me, this is a very challenging reading, but actually, hopefully, whatever it is I've said has made some sense, and hopefully you guys are getting something out of it, and we'll learn from this. Looks like my connection. Can you guys hear me okay? Gotta check my chat here. So, we do also have this amethyst piece, which I like to see. To me, amethyst, anytime the amethyst shows up that's focused on beauty, focused on fashion, you might be doing, some beauty treatments or focusing more on skincare or hair care, things like that. It is very positive vibes. It's interesting. This kind of showed up like here, like almost like this was going to be like a square. I would say that I feel like some of you are very much compartmentalizing things. And, this no is going to be a yes when you get out of the box. You're in a box. You're in a cage. You're in some kind of compartment. Like, you're only free when you break away from the compartment. When you break away from the compartmentalizing that you're doing. When you break away from the limiting beliefs that you may have, the limiting thoughts that you may have, and start to break out of whatever your shell is, or break out of whatever things that have limited you in some way. I had this one person once tell me, they said that I was going to be essentially unstoppable when I broke out of the cage. But then I repeatedly got myself into situations and relationships that put me in a box. It put me in some kind of limiting situation. Like even now, I don't have air conditioning. It's limiting. It's hard to sleep. It's hard to function. I'm in a box. I'm in a cage. And I feel like for many people, understanding what you're in, understanding whatever box you're in order to break away and break out of the box, you have to know that you're in a box. You have to know that you're in some kind of limiting situation. And many people know that they're in a limiting situation, but they don't do anything about it. They don't break out of the box. They don't make a change. So we have that limiting thinking. I do want to talk about this. I really like this feather. Every time this feather comes up, it's very good news. It's very positive. It's something to look forward to, even though, like, again, this reading, like I said, is dry as a desert. It's not without its highlights, but to me, has a lot of challenges. It's a little bit more grim than some of the energies I've seen, especially over Instagram. It was a lot more, I don't know, I want to say less grim. Let's just put it that way. So I feel like some of you may be getting a call on something or hearing back on something that's very positive, very good news, and you'll be very happy with that. I feel like there's some energies which I feel like are kind of disconnected or disjointed from like the story that I'm getting. We have the pineapple here, which is about needing to drink more water. This also, again, going back to this cup. Maybe some of you enjoying some alcohol. Doesn't necessarily mean you have a problem, but actually, because there's this N here, I would tell you to avoid alcohol at this time. It's not going to help you. I feel like part of me wants to clear the board and be like, clear your life, clear your energy. Some of you are really gunked up, fogged up, mildly depressed for some of you. Like, it's just the kind of thing where the energy is not the best. You need to work on raising your vibration, clearing your space, wearing better fragrances, clearing your physical body, working on your physical health. I'm gonna pull some more, let's see here. Charms here. We're gonna clear this off here. I was excited to do some charm readings today because I got some new charms, and this is one of my other new charms that I got. And this is the best charm that I've ever had, actually. It's this one right here. And this charm, you can see it's a horseshoe, but it's got a little ladybug on it. And it's got a little butterfly and a little star and a little four-leaf clover. And this horseshoe symbolizes a miracle. It symbolizes not just any kind of miracle, but something that you've needed to come through in a big way. And my guides are confirming that, because we have, not only do we have a horseshoe, but we also have that ladybug, we have the four-leaf clover, and we have the butterfly, and we have the star. And to me, that's very good luck. And they say that luck is being in alignment. They say that luck is being in the flow. So whatever is going to happen, I feel like some of you, like, I have to say this. Some of you, there might be, again, negative energies, negative people around you, things that you're dealing with that are trying to, like, I don't know, take you down. You know, it could be haters and bitches in the world. It could be just situations in your life that are not going well. But then you have this horseshoe, which, again, is kind of like that breakthrough energy, or just like the sun breaking through. And it's interesting right now, actually, it's kind of cloudy a little bit here where I live. Just as I said that, the sun came through the clouds. So I absolutely believe that this, to me, symbolizes some kind of miracle in your life. Some kind of turnaround, or some kind of thing that you needed to have happen. That could be money, that could be housing, that could be a job, that could be, you know, a good health, you know, diagnosis or something. That could be something that comes through for you that's very blessed, in a big way, in a big way. And you may not see that it's even possible. You might be like focused on all this other stuff, and it's just not maybe in your mind possible that a miracle could happen. And I would tell you to tap for miracles, and I would tell you to believe in miracles, and I would tell you that miracles can absolutely happen. will tell you that I believe that this can happen for the people that are watching if you believe that they are going to happen. If you're the kind of person that's like, nah, blah, 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 it's never going to happen, da, 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 and you're negative, then there's a chance that it won't, because your energies are like blocking it. You might have some blockages. You might have some energetic blockages where you're not allowing the good stuff in your life. You're not allowing the miracles in your life. You're not allowing the blessings in your life. You might be blocking it. You know, we get into places of resistance where we just can't stand to have good fortune because it doesn't give us anything to complain about. It doesn't give us anything to bitch about. It doesn't give us anything to work against. You know, there are people who are addicted to obstacles, that are addicted to problems, that are addicted to the drama. Okay, I'm serious. There are people who absolutely are. And they can't break out of it. They don't know how. And it's a problem. But I feel like for those of you who are watching, you have help in spirit that's helping you break out of your problems. It's helping you break away from your issues. It's helping you define your boundaries. Because to me, this is about boundaries. This hum says boundaries. This is like learning when to say no. No, I'm not going to take that. No, I'm not going to deal with that crap. No, I don't want to have that. No, thank you. Learn to see, okay, who's on your team and who's only there for themselves. Who's going to be a support system and who's only going to deplete you. For some of you, actually, this is going to sound quite harsh, but like for some of you, you're going to need to cut a parent out of your life. And I feel like you're going to know who this is. Like one parent is super supportive and the other is not. I feel like this is not for everybody, but like I feel like for some of you, like there's one person that's watching who has a parent who's not good for them. I feel like it's really interesting. It's sort of like I want to clear this space, to clear this way here for this like horseshoe to kind of move through. I don't know why. It's just sort of clearing the way here. I feel like some of you need to clear the way. You need to clear your own way and make your way through this energy. In order for this miracle to happen, you need to make your way. Some of you, when I say make your way, there's a card in my new deck that I talk about making your way through time. And I've talked about this before, but like when you make your way through energy, that means it's sort of like in time. They say in time, everything heals. In time, everything heals because later in time, we're not so used to it. We're not so affected by it. We're not so tortured by it. We grow old and we see, okay, well, what's really important? Your health, your well-being, your state of mental health, all that stuff becomes more important than any other bullshit that you've got going. So like in time, you'll start to see in perspective what's most important. And in time, you'll start to see, okay, I'm really dragged down by all of this stuff, or I was really distracted by these people over here, or I really should have stopped talking to that person a long time ago, but I didn't. I also see this as kind of being like a magnet. I don't know why. And it's very important that you start to think about the things that you want to have attract in your life. Like, what are the things that you're going for? Like, what are you pulling in? And some of you, I do feel like you're attracting more stability. You're attracting more blessings. You're attracting actually maybe some energies of, positive dating experiences or positive boosting, like boosts of confidence where you feel good about yourself. Maybe it's through wardrobe change or like, maybe getting some new clothes or feeling good, like when you wear a dress or when you dress up for a partner. I feel like some of you are attracting in help, positive help. The life preserver to me represents positive help. So you're attracting that in. You're attracting in love. To me, you're attracting love and positive emotional experiences. We have this teardrop, seashell, which I think of as emotions. You're also attracting in what I call clear sailing, which is a life that's less filled with obstacles and a life that's more smooth, or easy, or a life that has less of the garbage and more of the good stuff. Some of you are attracting in a new baby, maybe a new addition to your family. I'm moving all this away here. I'm moving this aside here. See, so this is what we're trying. All this other stuff, this flotsam and jetsam, is sort of moving away. And you're moving away from this stuff. All this complicated stuff. And sometimes people are afraid of having a simple life. People are afraid of what's going to happen when they don't have all the crazy and all the drama and the crazy girlfriend that's not even remotely loving, but they're there anyways, and it's I don't even know what it's about. It's just an ego trip or mind fuck. I don't know. But like, when people don't have the crazy, they kind of get bored. So some of you are going to have to work on overcoming your boredom and overcoming, like working on yourself, basically. In order to have this, you have to work on yourself. In order to attract in the miracle, you have to say, I am open to miracles. In order for things to be where you are attracting in the blessings, you have to believe that and think about the things that you want and all the blessings that you want to have and call that in and claim that. This is what you're claiming. I mean, again, this is not going to be for everybody. These are examples. These are charm readings. So obviously these are charms and they represent blessings and positive things. Now, it's going to look different for everybody. But yeah, because some people, a blessing might not be a new baby in their life. A blessing might be a new car. A blessing might be a new job. For some people, a blessing might be some new plants or some, extra cash that they could spend on things that they want. A blessing might be new friends or, spending time with family or doing things that they love to do. A blessing might be, I don't know, going boating somewhere, taking a trip to go fishing with a friend, or doing something that's positive in their life. So again, it's all going to look different to other people, but this is, as examples of energies that are positive that we're pulling in, that we're pulling this in, and we're visualizing this, and we're pulling this in. Interesting. Okay, so we have this, which is also, this specifically, I think it's Amazonite, which has a lot of beautiful, not busy energy, but like strong, just strong, re-energizing kind of energy where you're kind of like, geared up. You got rocket fuel. That's what we want. We want to attract in positive rocket fuel kind of energy. Got another starfish here. Starfish is a little bit more blinged out than the other ones. So again, you might be attracting in some new jewelry or like something pretty or like something, like a new watch or maybe a new purse or maybe some like new earrings or something. Like if you're a female or you're watching, or you could be male and watching, and we're attracting in something that's got some bling, or something that's pretty, or something that you want to show off. Like even if you're male, you could be attracting in something that you want to show off, or something that you're proud of, or something that you made. It could also be something handmade as well. And it's funny because we have this good things are going to happen fortune cookie, and we are attracting that in. So we're attracting in good things that are coming in, regardless of what those things are. And again, those things are going to look different for everybody. That's what we're doing. I think I can never remember if this rune is, to me, this rune represents wholeness. I don't know if it's wholeness or it's harvest. I can never remember. But when I see this, I think of wholeness. I think of balance, kind of like yin yang. So you're attracting in more balance. You're attracting in more wholeness. You're attracting in self-awareness and self-love and a wholeness that comes from not putting all your eggs into one basket and like expecting all of your happiness and love to come from one person. And it's less about, like, people talk about wholeness and don't even know what that means. To me, it means that you know how to be your own person in the world without the codependency, without like the, not necessarily, like, men feel good when they're needed. Okay. So it's necessary to be vulnerable enough to allow yourself to need someone, especially if you have a male in your life. Okay. I think everybody feels good when they're needed. Even else feel good when they're needed. I feel like that's very important, but I feel like there's a difference between being needed and being needy, and or being like helpless, or like not knowing what to do to how to take care of yourself, or not knowing how to love yourself, not knowing like what it means to be like a complete whole person. So I feel like I can go into that a lot more. Actually, I have to get going because my phone is about to die. So I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please donate if you can. Please book, I would say before, well, any day now, actually. Today, tomorrow, that way I can get you scheduled before the 29th. My availability, again, is basically only full availability until the 29th. Starting August 1st, all of my pricing is going up, and I will only be available weekends for about a month until I go on a wait list. And I probably won't be reading that much from I'd say September 1st through April of 2024. So this next week and a half is the time to book if you want to book. And hopefully I'll talk to you guys again soon. Thanks so much, guys. Big hugs, big kisses. I wish you guys the best. Bye, guys.